The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. So today in the crew, we got Miss Brittany. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning.
And then Miss Carol. How you, Carol? She's there somewhere. And then we got Pedro.
Hey guys, good morning. Happy morning. Happy Monday morning, actually. I'm over here. No, it's because I was navigating, guys. And you know, sometimes when you have your screen reader talking back to you and you're trying to talk in the conversation, I slow down. Multitasking, you know.
So you can't chew and you can't walk and chew gum at the same time?
Well, I could do that, but trying to hear two things and navigating like I'm doing right now, you know, makes it slightly harder.
I'm just messing with you, my brother. So you had a great weekend? Everybody had a good weekend?
What did I do? Oh, my sister flew in, you know, so we hanged out on Friday. That was pretty dope. She's coming from super cold. I'm over here. It's freezing. My kids is like, it's cold. And she's like, it's warm. She coming from 30-degree weather, guys. And to her, it's like, it's warm. It's not even cold out here, you know? And I was like, you tripping, you know? But that was pretty dope. On Saturday, for those that joined us, you know, that was listening and have in our NFB Inglewood chapter email list, we did a chapter fundraiser. We went to the Viejas casinos. We filled up a bus. We had good company, you know. Some people won money. Some people came back with the same money. Some people lost money, like myself, you know. But we went out. If you follow my unseen adventures, we went to Nick's Smash Burgers, and I checked that out. It was pretty good. They gave me a lot of chili for my chili fries, though. I ain't gonna lie about that one. It was pretty good. Me and Monica was out there with a few other friends of our chapter, so it turned out good. And then Sunday, I just took it easy, guys. I just took it easy. That's how it went. And you guys, how your weekend went, Ed?
I sat around the house doing Blind United stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just try to catch up on some, getting ahead of the game, getting ready for, when I go do my surgery and stuff like that. So just trying to make sure everything's in place for the little time I take off. So it was productive.
Can't be mad at that, man. Trying to get ahead of everything, man, so you could just cruise on through, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm. But you, Britt, what you do for the weekend?
Nothing. But Monica said good morning. So good morning, Monica.
Good morning,
Monica.
Good morning, Monica.
Brittany took it easy too. She was like, it was too cold to do anything. And you, Carol, how was your weekend?
My weekend was actually well. A friend of mine drove down from Roswell, New Mexico, to see her brother and her mother, and we went out and ate and just had a good time, you know, enjoying the city, catching up. I had not seen her in about 10 years. We've been talking on the phone, of course, but it was just good to see Loretta Wilson. So I did that, and of course watched football all yesterday.
They didn't bring no extraterrestrials from Roswell?
No, she says that, but it is a lot of people that come up there actually looking for UFOs and things.
Hey, I want to go there one.
Right.
Hey, I want to go over there just to go because it's like an iconic spot for those people, for the people that like about all that stuff, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yep. So Well, I mean, I'm glad everybody enjoyed their weekend. We got a nice week ahead of us. So I got some different kind of articles today, just kind of public information stuff people might want to be aware of. So whenever you're ready, my brother, we can get started with this first one and then see where the conversation takes us.
Today on Coffee Time, we're exploring the concerning connection between bird flu and raw milk and why it's vital to take preventive steps to protect your health. Bird flu detected in raw milk. In November 2024, the H5N1 strain of avian influenza, bird flu, was identified in a sample of raw milk from Raw Farm, a Fresno County dairy in California. This alarming discovery led to a voluntary recall of the affected batch and prompted increased vigilance over unpasteurized milk products. Why raw milk poses a risk? Unpasteurized, raw milk can be a breeding ground for harmful pathogens, including bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella, and viruses such as H5N1. Consuming contaminated raw milk has led to severe illnesses and, tragically, even deaths, such as cases involving cats that consumed H5N1, tainted raw milk. How to protect yourself. Public health experts recommend the following measures to minimize the risks associated with raw milk and avian influenza. Avoid raw milk and dairy products. The CDC strongly advises against consuming unpasteurized milk due to the potential for contamination by pathogens, including the bird flu virus. Practice safe food handling. Cook all poultry and meat to recommended internal temperatures to kill viruses and bacteria. Use separate cutting boards for raw meats and other foods to prevent cross-contamination. Focus on hygiene. Wash hands thoroughly with soap and water after handling raw poultry or dairy products. Clean and disinfect kitchen surfaces, utensils, and cutting boards regularly. Stay updated on recalls. Follow public health advisories and recalls to ensure the products you consume meet safety standards. Regulatory actions in response. In light of the H5N1 detection, the USDA has mandated nationwide testing of raw milk for avian influenza. Testing began with 6 states, including California, as part of efforts to detect and control the virus in dairy products before they reach consumers. Conclusion. The connection between bird flu and raw milk highlights the critical importance of food safety practices. By avoiding unpasteurized dairy, adhering to hygiene protocols, and staying informed about public health updates, you can help protect yourself and your loved ones from serious health risks. What are your thoughts on these findings and the steps being taken to prevent future risks? Let us know in the comments. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for more conversation.
So just to be perfectly clear, what happened was the dairy cows, the cattle up in at that one dairy raw farms or whatever it's called. Uh, uh, their cows got infected with avian flu, bird flu, and their milk product, raw milk product, had the bird flu in it, and that's why they had to do a recall. So, I mean, that's how it's happening, whatever. So now it's there. A couple other little caveats. Some experts have said that we're one mutation away with this bird flu to where it can be transmitted to humans. Okay, right now it's being transmitted from animal to animal, but like I said, they're one mutation away from that being able to come at us, right? So that's one little caveat. Just want to throw this other little thing in there. The same CEO of this Raw Farms was he's being recruited into was it Robert Kennedy Jr.'s thing with the health and thing as a consultant on raw milk. So anyway, what y'all think?
The same CEO that wants to cut corners. Wow.
Right. The same CEO whose plant
Mhm. Mhm.
has bird flu had to do a recall because of bird flu is now being hired as a consultant.
Yeah. Well, would you think that the CEO? Okay, you would think the CEO is handling the business side and all that, and overseeing the other departments also, but it's not a scientist to actually see and do all that. I bet you they have another department that handles all that. What do you think they're more prepared to kind of lead that RFK is trying to do, you know? But yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, as CEO, regardless, it all rolls uphill. I mean, he's ultimately responsible.
Yes, of course, yeah, of course, because he has to make the decision and stuff. But he gets the reports; he needs to read them and all that. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
saying like how that makes him a expert on the position he's gonna get within.
Well, and here's for me. I mean, and again, I don't know the process. I don't know what the actual guidelines, regulations are.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to me that you should know whether this raw dairy product that you're putting out as a commodity, right?
Mm-hmm.
What it's containing
Yes,
before you put it out.
of course. Yes, right. Would you think there's guidelines and barriers for testing and all that, especially in
Right.
California, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's up north in Fresno, California, is where that the farm is.
Yeah, and yeah, I would think they have guidelines and other testing things in place for this before it gets to the public. Because it seemed like they found out, like, oh no, they were sick, and we didn't thought it was gonna come out in their milk, and then we tested it. Oh, we tested it like a month later.
Well, it also. I'm sorry, Pedro. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's also this
Mhm,
trend that's been going on for the last year or two right now, where
mhm.
people are really pushing people to drink raw milk. I mean,
What
your
do you mean
other
by raw milk? Straight from the calf, like coming out?
yes, yes,
Okay, okay,
unpasteurized milk.
okay. Mm.
Okay, a lot of people are making dairy products out of raw milk product. Does that
Oh, I
like
got
cheese and all this other kind of stuff? They're using raw milk instead
you.
of pasteurized milk.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And that could be a
Okay,
big issue right there.
that
And
other person was it MTG?
hmm
She's really been pushing raw milk.
I wonder does she drink it though? Pushing it is one thing, but I wonder does she actually consumes raw milk?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but again, I mean, I don't even know what this trend is because, okay, well, of course, way back in the day, right?
Hmm.
The people did. They drank it straight out the cow. You know what I'm saying? Go in there, go out in the barn and milk your cow, get a bucket of milk, come in the house and have cereal. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I
To
mean,
me,
but
it seems strange, but that was the normality back
that
then.
was a normality back then, but we didn't
Hmm.
have all of this other biological stuff going on at that time. And the process of pasteurizing milk was created to what? To get rid of all of that stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because pasteurizing, basically what they're doing is they're cooking the milk. They're not cooking it, but they take it up to a temperature that will kill all of the viruses and whatever that's not supposed to be in the milk.
Bacteria. It's like
Bacteria,
sterilizing it.
yeah, it's sterilizing the milk. It's basically that's a better word, Carol. Sterilizing the milk.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
That's what that process was created for.
Yeah.
And now you want to bypass it, go back to the 1760s when you just drank it straight out the cow. But again, we don't even have the same cows we had back then. I mean,
Yes.
today's cows have got so much stuff being put in them, steroids and growth hormones and
Just eating
you
corn. You know.
you know now they're eating all kind of different stuff other than just straight grass.
Yeah, yeah, and they're being pumped, like you said, with chemicals and you know and all
So
And you
that.
don't
You
know
can.
what's. Oh, I'm
Hmm.
sorry, Pedro and Ed,
Go ahead.
but I'm
Go
like
ahead, Carol.
you don't know what's in the grass now. You don't know what's raining from the clouds. It's just the atmosphere. All of this stuff. So it's not as as it used to be.
Yes, correct, correct. And another thing, that you had mentioned a little bit, Ed, uh, on how that scientists were saying we're one mutation away. And I would like to see the data. I would like to know and stuff because man, um, it could be dangerous. It could be dangerous if it comes onto humans and stuff, and we don't know the type of effect it can cause to a human being. I would like to know if they have anything like that information. That'd be pretty dope to see.
right,
Um, yeah, and another thing about these recalls, guys. They're like, you need to stay up to date with these recalls. Why do we need to stay up to date? There should be something in place that lets everybody know, because these companies are making money, and we buy their products. They need to warn us in a good way, not just here. I put it in my website, and it's there. Go look for it. You need to go find it.
right.
It's
There
like,
should be some sort, just like you got, what do they call it, the Amber Alert for
mm-hmm,
missing kids. We need to have some sort of a national system that lets us know, like when food products have been tainted with whatever.
mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah, we
I
need to
agree.
streamline it, because it seems like they're just like, yeah, we did put it out there. It was like out there in the press, or it was out there in our website, and oh, you didn't saw it? Oh,
It
too
was down in
bad.
it's in fine print at the page at the bottom of page 45 on our website.
Yeah, basically they're saying, well, it was there. You didn't saw it? Oh, too bad for you. No, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. You
But
I
know?
that's
mean,
a good
again,
idea. I'm sorry, Ed. Go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good. I mean, my thing is this: how was it released from the dairy farm?
Mm-hmm.
That part. I mean, I believe when you're dealing especially with something like that, it should definitely be tested, analyzed before it ships out.
Yeah, at least the batch that you're cooking, once it gets done with all that, test that batch. Every single one. Don't be like, okay, this big old 80 gallon or 100 gallon, whatever they making, because I seen the factory over there. It's huge.
Right. But see, also the process, Pedro, most of these dairy farms,
Mm-hmm.
they do not pasteurize the milk. They sell the raw milk product, and then whatever dairy, or not dairy,
Mm.
milk producer, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? They're the ones that do the pasteurization.
Oh, and then if it's a company that wants raw milk, it is not even gonna do that process. So it
Right.
needs to be checked before.
That's my point.
Mhm, mhm. I feel you. I feel you. Okay. Yeah. And you know what? It wouldn't be done like it'd be nice. It'd be dope if that's the way you do it. But they're always trying to save money wherever they can. So if they're only required to check a batch here or there, man, there's gonna be batches that it's gonna slide on through. It's
Well,
always
but
gonna
again,
be.
corporate profits can never, be placed above public health
I know.
and safety. It just can't.
But
And
with
that's
every oh, sorry.
no. Go ahead, Kel. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying with everybody now trying to go organic, everybody organic this, that, and the other. And like you say, we don't find out about anything until somebody dies or somebody gets sick. Then all of a sudden they put it out on the news, or like you say, putting it in the paper where they're trying to recall it. It's too late. Take care of it first
Mhm.
before you
Mhm.
take it to the stores. And then all of a sudden
Mhm.
you got to pull all of this off of the shelf. And it's only because somebody got sick. Now we should have done this first.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's the approach all over in our society with businesses. Even with like phone companies or even, I mean, phone manufacturers. And these falls for the top three, phone manufacturers and stuff like that, because they put out their software and say, here's the software. You find a bug, report it, but we won't fix it until people report it, and they don't test them out. And I bet they test it out, but they don't test it out extensively. And
Right.
it's exactly with this milk production that's happening here. They test it, but not extensively. And you're right, public safety should be number one, but sometimes it seems like public safety is second, even when a few months back when we talked about the lunch meat. Remember the lunch meat
Yep.
and
Yeah.
the tainted salmonella they had?
Yep.
Yes.
Um, it seems like now we're having more of this. And it seems like I don't know if they're loosening up the guidelines or what, or slashing the red tape. I know that's a
Just
popular
cutting.
term,
Oh,
you
just
know.
cutting turner. They're cutting corners.
Yeah, they
It's
cut it
about getting the
Well,
corners.
product out.
it also goes into, it's kind of like a deregulation thing. I brought this up before and we discussed it, where you had these FDA regulators, right, inspectors. They went and they were on post at these different manufacturing plants. Well, to save costs, they pulled the inspectors away from the plants, and then they put it into the laps of the production folks, right? And they hired somebody internally to be the inspector, which they're supposed to follow all the guidelines and whatever. But again, like I said, their paycheck is coming from the company. The paycheck's not coming from the government,
Hmm.
right? So they're going to be loyal to their paycheck. Where that government inspector, he's loyal to the government because that's where his paycheck comes from. So he's going to flag everything that's tainted.
Yeah, because
Okay,
yeah, you're right
company
about that one.
company employees are just gonna you know what, they'll report it to higher ups and they say, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Next thing you know, all this stuff is delivered to the store, and consumers are consuming it,
Mhm, mhm.
right? And then somebody gets sick. Oh well, I guess we had to put out a recall.
Yes, yes, and I don't know if it was you. I was talking about this a minute ago. We also have articles in older episodes about the Boeing thing. There was a dude letting them know, blowing the whistle, letting the higher ups in Boeing know about what was happening, and they got rid of him. He even went to whistleblow to the government, and just because you know, uh, the company is paying you, so they could even fire you,
Right.
and then what? Lives are at stake. It seemed like
Right.
they didn't lives didn't matter at that time. They were like, "Let's fire him or get him out the way or let's deregulate." No, we that regulation is there to keep the public safe.
And it goes into the same situation where, again, the FAA uh, uh, inspectors that would normally work at Boeing had been removed, and this guy had been hired as quality control, right, doing the same job as the FAA inspector. And then when he started telling them, they would just ignore him until he became, like I said, they took him out.
Yep, they took him out, and it's sad though. It's sad because they're concerned about what's gonna happen to the public, and they whistleblow, and then they get fired. They get they get they get like a bad rap, I guess you could say,
Well,
and
I
then.
think they also, I'm sorry, Betty, I think they also, corporate, right?
Hmm.
I think they're playing the percentages, right? So they say, okay, well, okay, the plane might have a little issue, the milk might have a little issue, whatever, right? What are the chances that somebody's going to get sick? If it's below, 5, 10%, they probably roll with it.
Damn, they're
I,
gambling. They're
I,
gambling.
oh, I'm
That's
Sorry,
sorry.
what I
Carol.
believe. I mean, that's what I believe. Go ahead, Carol.
Go ahead,
I would
Carol.
just, I'd said it once before. I know it sounds crazy, but I said a corporate greed is the American dream. We're just living in a nightmare and we're just trying to wake up. They don't really care. If it affects their bottom line, it's not a big deal. Like you say, they're gambling with our lives. And if something happens, something happens, but they don't care. They really don't.
They really don't. They really, really don't. So, but anyway, that should bring us right to the bottom of the hour.
Wait. Monica had a comment. She said a lot of people can't drink milk like her, and she has to drink almond milk. And that's not even really, that has a lot of stuff in it that it shouldn't have in it. And Tisha said, Good morning. Good morning,
Good
Tisha.
morning,
Good
Tisha.
morning, Tisha.
And George said, Good morning, Blind United family. Good morning, George.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Joe.
George. I hope you
Good
got the
morning,
cup of
George.
milk next to you. Hopefully it's not raw. But yeah, it's true. We do have a lot of milk products now. If you've seen on the shelves, you got the lactase free, you got the 2%, the full the red cap that's full of fat, and the 0%, I mean the 1%. And then you have your soy milk, you have your almond milk, you have your coconut milk.
Yeah. Well, just also so people know, and anything other than whole milk, pasteurized milk, has been powdered. They take it, turn it into a powder. That's how they get the fat out. That's how they do the 2%. That's how they do the no fat, low fat, whatever.
Mm,
All your chocolate milk, all those milks have been turned into a powder. And then that's why you'll notice when you buy these types of milk, they're real watery. I mean, it's like going to the store and buying a box of Carnation instant milk. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And mixing your own milk is basically what it is.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
I used to use those when we used to go out of the country, and we'd be gone for a month or two. We used to take when I was small, my mom used to take that powder milk like that and make the milk over there.
yeah. I mean, again, plus you get used to drinking, American products or something. You go into a foreign country and they may not have the same guidelines or regulations, so there's a possibility that you can get sick. So, but yeah, no, they again, that's what they do with this stuff, man. I mean, they take it, you
I didn't.
know,
Yeah.
you know,
Um. Yeah, and we used to take it and used to do that, and but over there they drink milk, but they don't drink milk like how we do over here, honestly. Um. But I didn't know that they powdered it and made it into like a powder. And honestly,
yeah, that's how. That's the only way they can get the fat and all that stuff out.
yeah.
Uh, and the only reason I know, I used to work for certified grocers there in LA,
Mhm.
Springfield products. You guys see them in the stores around LA all the time. Our milk brand was Springfield and Golden Cream.
Mm.
But anyway, so I worked in the night loadout where, we loaded the trucks to go to the stores. And
Yeah.
we had a room, man. I mean, again, we had the one room where, the trucks pulled up with all the raw milk product in it. And then they'd pump it into our tanks. And then would go through the process of pasteurizing process, and then they'd bottle it up, put it in jugs or milk cartons or whatever the cases may be, right? But then we had another warehouse that was full of nothing but pallets of powdered milk. And then they would take that and they would dump that into another vat and mix it with water to create your non-fat milk and stuff like that. So
Okay, okay. So, do you know how lactase is kind of made, or the process a little bit of that? If you want to enlighten us a little.
I mean, again, lactose is just a product. It's a milk byproduct. So when you go into doing this other stuff, again, lactose free is basically is something else. Like I said, it'll be either soy or almond or coconut or something like that, right? You can't necessarily, because if you pull, I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but my understanding is if you take the lactose out, you don't have real milk anymore.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Okay, so I mean that's my understanding on it.
And see,
I'm
I'm
not an
like
expert.
Monica. I can't drink milk either.
I try not to drink milk. I can. It messes with my stomach sometimes, but
Yeah, it messes with my stomach.
there was a before we hit this break, there was a documentary about milk and the process uh of milk and the way they use dyes to get it to white and stuff. Sometimes it's pinkish, sometimes it's reddish because of something to do with the cow leaking their blood into the milk and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So that's the type of different conditions you got to remember of this super
That's nasty.
manufactured, yeah, system, that when we have these big old factories, even when it comes to our upholstery like chicken and things like that, and they're in what, 1 foot by 1 foot or 2 foot by 2 foot little cages, and they're all pooping, they're all they're all in all this stuff. Things like this is gonna happen. It's
Yeah,
gonna happen
yeah,
because there's not guidelines against it. Even though they tell you this is open range chicken, feed by by grass and stuff, man, that costs way more. You know.
right, right, right. I mean, but again, I mean, there's companies out there, new upstart companies now that are producing, food products, especially meat products,
Mm-hmm.
where they are range free chickens. They are, grass fed cattle. You know what I'm saying? No hormones, no steroids, all this other kind of stuff. Now, again, that steak is going to cost you a whole bunch more money,
Mm-hmm.
but in essence, it's a lot more healthier.
It is.
Yes.
But think about this though. And I know we're going over the middle of the hour, but before before there's super massive uh factories, farm factories is what I like to call them, because basically it's a farm factory. Um, we used to do it like that. They were grass fed, corn fed, and other open range and stuff like that.
Well,
So
I'm sorry, I was going to close with this. I'm going to let you finish first, and I'll close off.
yeah, so if we didn't move to these massive farm factories, would our price increase really major, you think? Because now we're buying from these massive farm factories, and even though it's just a little expensive, now the meat is getting expensive a little. Wouldn't you think, like, hold up, this made in a massive factory, it could be less. This is more open range. This should be at this level. It shouldn't be like, massive increase, right?
Right.
I
So
don't know if I'm making sense. I'm sorry.
no, you are, but let's go here when you're talking about like having that diet of milk and make it white and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
The reason is part of it is back in the day, what you went in, you milked the cow by hand,
Right.
right?
Right.
Hmm.
Nowadays they put the cow in a headlock in essence. They
Hmm.
put it in their head goes through this gate where they can get their grain or whatever what they're eating, but they lock their head in there, right? Then they hook up these damn things to their nipples.
Teats. Teats.
Okay, whatever it is, right? Not their feet, but their udders.
No,
Their
no, yeah, the others, they call them the teats. Like,
okay,
Yeah, the teats. Yeah, she's right.
okay, teats, right? And that's all done electronically now, right? So again, maybe they're sucking on their teats too hard or whatever, and creating, putting that blood and whatever in the thing. So
Hmm.
again, it's the whole process of trying to cut down on labor to what? Increase corporate profits. That's
Hmm.
all it really is. It can increase production and all that stuff. So anyway, let's close out on this one and get started on something else after these commercials.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Join Blind United for a night of fun, food, and festivities at our ugly sweater and sneaker party. Celebrate the season with us while making connections and supporting a great cause. When Saturday, December 28th, 2024. Time, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Where? VFW Post 2070, Monrovia, California. Cost, $35 per person in advance. Payment deadline, December 18th, 2024. How to reserve your spot. Zelle your payment to Blind United Inc. and use the email blindunited2022@gmail.com. Memo. Include sneaker party and your phone number or email. What's in store? Attire. Bring your holiday spirit. Wear your ugly holiday sweater and your best sneakers. Menu. Enjoy a Mexican fiesta featuring nachos as appetizers, chicken, beef, or pork plates with rice, beans, tortillas, salsa, cheesecake, sodas, and water. Let us know of any dietary restrictions. There is a cash bar, drinks available for purchase. Raffles and contests. Raffle prizes. A 65-inch TV, shipped directly to the winner. An Anyday cookware set and a Ring doorbell must be taken home by the winner that night. Raffle tickets, $5 each or 5 for $20. 50-50 drawing, $1 per ticket or 6 tickets for $5. Contests, show off your creativity and win a $25 gift card for Best Ugly Holiday Sweater, Best Sneakers. Don't miss out. Reserve your spot today for an unforgettable evening of food, fun, and fantastic prizes while supporting Blind United and its mission to empower individuals with disabilities. For more information, contact Ed Davis, CEO of Blind United. Phone 909-532-9513. Email info@blindunited.org. Celebrate, connect, and give back in style.
All right. Well, again, come on out, hang out with us again. This last party of the year. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. Enjoy some good good food. I'm sorry. Good company. A lot of, just
a lot of prizes and giveaways.
A lot of prizes. I mean, 65-inch TV. I mean, come on, man. This Anyday cookware set. Again,
a value of 180 right there.
Somewhere in that zone, and then a Ring doorbell. As a third prize. So, and then who knows? You might win a 50-50 drawing as well. So money, cash. But come on out, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have brother George and his DJ Donut hat on, and he's gonna DJ for us. So, man, this ought to be a lot of fun. So come on out and hang out with us on the 28th. Get your money in by the 18th of the month, and we look forward to having you there. So here's something new that I ran across, and I know now that I know what it is, what it's called. I've been wondering why they've been doing it, but it's called what do I call it, Pedro? What's the title on this one?
Hostile infrastructure.
Hostile infrastructure and architecture, whatever.
There you go. Yeah, hostile architecture.
Check this out, you guys.
Today on Coffee Time, we're discussing a topic that might be hiding in plain sight, hostile architecture and its impact on individuals with disabilities. What is hostile architecture? Hostile architecture, also called defensive or exclusionary design, involves urban planning strategies aimed at deterring behaviors like sleeping, loitering, or skateboarding. While often implemented to address issues like homelessness or vandalism, these designs can inadvertently create barriers for people with disabilities, raising significant concerns about accessibility and inclusivity. How hostile architecture affects the disabled community. Hostile architecture often transforms public spaces into less welcoming environments, with notable impacts on those with mobility or physical impairments. Obstructed mobility. Uneven surfaces, spikes, or segmented designs make navigation difficult for wheelchair users and those relying on mobility aids like walkers or canes. Reduced seating options. Benches with dividers, designed to prevent lying down, restrict accessible seating for individuals who may need extra room to sit comfortably or transfer from a wheelchair. Social isolation. Spaces designed to discourage loitering can make public areas feel unwelcoming, reducing opportunities for social interaction and community engagement for disabled individuals. Real-world examples. Divided benches, while intended to deter sleeping, these designs can make it impossible for individuals with physical disabilities to use public seating comfortably. Sloped or uneven surfaces, often installed to prevent skateboarding, these surfaces can pose tripping hazards or make navigation nearly impossible for individuals with limited mobility. The ethical debate. Hostile architecture prioritizes aesthetics and security over inclusivity, often exacerbating social exclusion for vulnerable populations. For the disabled community, these designs create environments that feel uninviting, perpetuating systemic inequalities and limiting access to public spaces. A call for inclusive design. Disability advocates argue for the adoption of universal design principles, which aim to create public spaces accessible to everyone, regardless of physical ability. Inclusive design offers benefits not only for disabled individuals, but also for families, seniors, and others who may find traditional urban designs challenging. Why inclusive design matters. Improves accessibility for all users. Enhances community engagement by creating welcoming public spaces. Demonstrates a commitment to equity and social responsibility in urban planning. Final thoughts. Hostile architecture may solve one problem, but often creates others, particularly for individuals with disabilities. As cities evolve, it's crucial to advocate for thoughtful urban design practices that ensure public spaces are safe, accessible, and inclusive for everyone. What are your thoughts on hostile architecture? Have you noticed designs in your community that hinder accessibility? Share your experiences and join the conversation. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for more conversation.
So, I mean, again, I've been seeing this stuff now actually for a couple of years or more, and didn't really understand that there was actually a reason behind it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of get it, but at the same time, I can't imagine a park where you can't go sit down on a bench and relax and enjoy yourself and enjoy the park. Maybe you're taking your kids to the park. You're just trying to find somewhere to sit down and relax while your kids are playing, stuff like that. Or I remember one of the first ones I seen, and I didn't realize what it was. I was coming in at LAX, right? And I made my way out front, and I'm waiting on my ride. So I'm, make my way to the bench. It's still considered a bench, right? But it had no back on it, number one. Number two, the part that you sit on was really rounded almost like a pipe. You know what I'm saying? So my point being, there was no opportunity to lay on it because you'd roll right off of it. But you could just sit there for a little while. It wasn't comfortable. It was all metal and all that kind of stuff, I think my earliest notice of it was actually a while back. And Pedro, you may not have realized it, Britt and all of us, right? That been to Union Station. That little area where we can now go sit, those chairs that we sit in, the individual chairs, right? They're not chairs. They're actually hooked to one another, but they got the big armrest between them, right? That's what they were for. Okay, they were there to keep people from laying down sleeping while they were waiting on their next train. Those seating, that type of seating used to be all throughout the food court and everything else. They done pulled it all out of all of that stuff and put it over in that one little area because of the homeless problem. So if you ain't got a ticket, you can't get over there to sit down.
I think it was more of the maintenance thing. You know why? So you say it's because of the homeless, right?
Yeah.
Ain't you got security there? Ain't there security there? I see security all over there.
Well, I mean, I get that, Pedro, but there hasn't always been a lot of security like that. It's only
Yeah,
been a bunch of security around Union Stations since the homeless population really got, really bad in downtown LA.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. And yeah, and look, the crazy part is you order something there, there you order something to eat, something to drink, and there's nowhere to sit down. They got the tables, but nowhere to sit down. You have to
Right.
stand
They
up
got
and eat.
they got the tall stand up tables.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The tall stand-up tables. Um, I didn't know that skateboarding was hated that much by some some companies and some people. That they want to create these uneven surfaces where skateboarders are just trying to get to A and B. I know
But
sometimes they might do a trick here and there and all that, but I know a lot of kids that use it for transportation.
right, but how many kids are running over people in the process as well?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying all kids because not all. Just again, but they do. I mean, running up and down the sidewalk and stuff like that. Again, number one, we don't want the tricks and stuff. I got they using it for transportation, but it's a pedestrian walkway, not a pedestrian skateway.
Yeah, but I come across a gang of skateboarders. I never even ran into one of them. They actually slow down or they move away from me, I noticed. And
Well,
I'm
I
like, that's
mean,
dope. But some people, some individuals don't like the youth and the teenagers coming like 4 or 5 and hanging out and having, and
well, as
they might like, oh, they're not bringing me business, and I think it amounts to making more money in a way.
well, and again, I'm not going to argue that point, but as an example, like Santa Monica, Venice Beach, Santa Monica Beach, where they have the long boardwalk.
Hmm.
Well, they actually put in a bike lane, which originally used to be right along the boardwalk. It was just a painted area, right?
Okay.
Now they actually have its own slab of concrete
Hmm.
that's further out into the sand, right? And that's where the bikes and the skateboards. If the police catch you on the walkway of the boardwalk, they'll write you up. All
Okay.
bikes and skateboards and everything got to be over on the bike path.
Yeah, yeah, because I know it's yeah, because some people use the coastline to ride, and you know what I mean. So it's only right for them to have a lane, because we don't want them bumping into pedestrians, of course.
Right.
And right there it makes sense, right there. You know what I mean? But I understand like within malls you gotta be, it's busy and stuff like that.
Well, not only that, inside a mall, the skateboards would mess up the flooring.
Hmm. Well, they won't even be able to grip right on that slippery floor, the
Well,
skateboards.
well, again, depending on the flooring, right?
Hmm.
Because again, some of them got. I mean, you go through like Ontario Mills out on this end. Some areas got wood floors. Some people got areas got tile floor, and so on and so forth. I mean, I get what you're saying, but just those wheels alone will mess up the floors.
Hmm.
You know, so I mean, again, I don't necessarily want skateboards when I'm trying to navigate down a sidewalk. I mean, don't get me wrong. The kids are being respectful, whatever. Cool. I mean, no problem, But at the same time, I hear a skateboard coming in front of me or behind me. I don't know which way to go. I don't know if I should move to the right, move to the left, whatever. And, because I can't see them, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know if they're do I need to dodge them? Or are they going to be able to dodge me? I mean, I don't know. It's just.
Well, well, in that situation, what I do, the common sense for me, I just stay still. I'm like, okay, I move. I stay right there because usually I'm by the gates or the wall, and then they just go around me, or they stop. I see some stop and then grab their skateboard, go around me and stuff. But if you move to the right, they're already plotting when you're moving on a vehicle. Even when you were driving, you plot ahead of time. Like, okay, I see
Right.
this person, so let me do this.
Right. Well, I mean, this hostile architecture even goes
That is
deeper than
crazy.
that. I've seen a thing
Mhm.
in New York, right?
Mhm.
Especially, getting ready to get really cold back there, and snow and all this other kind of stuff. You know, a lot of stuff in New York is operated by steam. Okay,
Mhm.
so they have these vents in the sidewalk, you know, whether it's, an air access for the subway or whether they got steam coming up in it. The homeless population will gather around those grills,
Mhm. Mhm.
those grades. They're literally putting spikes in those grades
Oh
where you
wow.
can't, so you can't lay down on them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, what does that do? Okay, yeah, it keeps the homeless people from laying down on it, but imagine us trying to walk through there, and now we got spikes coming up out of this grate.
Mhm. Mhm.
What
Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
if we fall?
Right.
Mhm. And
Okay,
you also remember when we went to Albrera Street over here in downtown, out of Union Station?
yeah,
All the benches were gone.
all of them, all
All
of
of
them.
them. Even where the potteries at for the trees, those things were flat. Now they're like little spikes, so you can't even sit on that either.
Look at the brick that they did when they was, like you said, creating that planter box, right?
Mhm.
They had the sharp edges of the bricks pointing up to where
Yes.
you
That's what I'm
could
talking about.
there was no flat surfaces for you to sit on. It's
Mm-mm.
crazy. And again, you're taking away from the social aspect of being in places like that,
And the
right?
social experience.
Right. I mean, like when we were sitting there watching the Indian folks do their dance thing, right?
Mhm.
I mean, everybody's supposed to just stand around and watch. Come on, man. They're sitting there doing this stuff for 30, 45 minutes. Somebody like me, my old butt, I need somewhere to sit down.
Yeah, if I knew, I would have brought my chair, my backpack chair. Boom. Just I think that's what we need, Ed, a backpack chair. Boom. You know?
Well, I mean, it's crazy that we would even need to do stuff like
I
that. That's
know.
crazy part, man. I mean, again, you're taking away the thing. I mean, it's crazy. So anyway,
Mhm.
we can keep on with this one, but it's 9:53, so we're gonna try to get this last one in and get it out the way.
Yeah, let's do it.
Today on Coffee Time, we're discussing phishing scams targeting iPhone users and how to stay protected. With the rise of digital scams, iPhone users are increasingly being targeted by sophisticated phishing attempts. From fake Apple ID suspension notices to malicious iMessages, these scams aim to steal personal data and compromise user accounts. Here's what you need to know to stay safe. The scams to watch out for. Apple ID suspension emails. Scammers send emails claiming your Apple ID has been suspended, urging you to click a link to verify your account. These links redirect to phishing sites designed to steal your Apple ID login credentials. Fake Apple support calls. Using a tactic called push bombing, scammers flood users with repeated password reset requests. They then impersonate Apple support, asking for sensitive information like verification codes to resolve the issue. Phishing messages via iMessage. Messages appear to come from trusted brands, containing links to fake websites. These phishing sites aim to collect login details and personal information. Operation Triangulation. This spyware campaign exploits vulnerabilities in iMessages, using hidden attachments to steal data such as passwords, messages, and location. Steps to protect yourself. Verify communications. Legitimate Apple emails only come from official Apple domains. Be wary of unsolicited texts or emails asking for personal information. Don't click on links. Instead of clicking links in messages, visit Apple's official website or use the Apple Support app for account-related issues. Enable two-factor authentication, 2FA. Protect your Apple ID by enabling 2FA, which requires a second form of verification before granting access. Keep your device updated. Regularly update your iOS to ensure you have the latest security patches and protections. Use secure messaging apps. Apps like Signal or WhatsApp provide encryption for safer communication, as recommended by the FBI. Be skeptical of requests. Never share verification codes or personal information with unsolicited calls or messages claiming to be Apple support. Recent trends. Fake Apple ID suspension emails have been flagged by Forbes as one of the leading phishing scams in 2024. The FBI has issued warnings about push bombing techniques, urging users to stay vigilant against these new attack methods. Stay safe in a digital world. With scammers becoming more sophisticated, staying informed is the best defense. By following these protective measures, you can safeguard your personal information and keep your Apple ID secure. What steps have you taken to protect yourself from phishing scams? Share your thoughts in the comments. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for more conversation.
All right. Well, we don't have a whole lot of time for a whole lot of conversation on this, but again, this just shows that the bad guys are always at work trying to find ways to get a hold of our information so they can tap into our resources. So you got to stay vigilant. You got to stay vigilant. Don't trust these emails, text messages, and all this other kind of stuff. You got to stay vigilant. It's a scam. Apple will never call you. Social Security will never call you. These companies will never call you and ask you for this information. It's just that simple.
And if they do call, they don't ask you to verify the information. They need to verify your information. They need to tell your first, last name, or other email and other information. They should have it handy. Remember, when you get a call from a Social Security or Apple and they tell you, oh, we want to make sure it's you, John Doe. Can you tell us your phone number? They have that. Can you tell us your email? They should have that. Can you tell us
Exactly.
zip code? They should have that and your address. So just remember that and drop a comment. Let me know if y'all been getting this Apple, your account is about to be suspended. You need to take action emails. I receive these all the time. They go to my junk folder, but sometimes they make it to my inbox. But check out the spelling. Check out if things look right. Remember, Apple, they suspend your email account for something serious. If you also get these emails that tell you, oh, your storage is low. Come look at the options for higher storage options. Those are fake also. So just be aware that these scammers are always trying to get your information. This is this this industry is over billions and billions of dollars. Um, I noticed that even within, I know we give out our email around different companies, even social groups, and sometimes you get phishing emails from all over the place. So be vigilant on how you're giving out your information and what you're filling out. Double check the address that you're at, the website. Just go to the address bar and make sure it says apple.com, not apple.co, apple.net or something like that. So just make sure. Also, when you're checking out on one of these websites, make sure it has a lock. It will say this website is HTTPS, and that S stands for secured. So
Right.
be vigilant, even with these calls. Be vigilant. Um, we have so many calls. Something has to be done in Washington. We're getting calls from out of the country, um, and these calls are about Medicare and other things like that. guys, sometimes I end up tricking them. They get upset. They cuss me out. Tell me when a company calls you and you have a worker cussing you out. It never happens. It never will happen because they will get fired. So these people cussing me out actually because I get on their, they get upset at me. Sometimes I tell them little things like, shame on you, shame on your mom to teach you to do this, and your God is watching you. And some people get pissed off.
Yeah, yeah, of course they do. So,
Hmm.
on that note, again, we're just trying to keep everybody informed, keep everybody safe. So, if you find all this stuff interesting and you like what we're doing here, please, please, please like, subscribe, follow, hit that notifications, whatever it is, wherever you're watching. There's something you can do to help us out. So, on that note, Britt, we got any comments before we get out of here? I guess not.
Let me check it out right quick. Y'all continue on amongst yourselves. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I mean, again, we're just trying to keep everybody safe. We don't want nobody to get taken. And, some of these folks, they have no mercy. They don't care. They just, they're just trying to take us for whatever they can take us for. And we can't have that. So everybody
Yeah, we're
stay
good. No
vigilant.
comments.
Yeah, everybody stay vigilant. So, again, hopefully everybody like what we're doing. Thank you, Tisha, Monica, everybody else that commented, and whoever may comment later on or view this later on, we really do appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow on the next one. So until then, everybody have a great day. We out.